and we should get into it as such. So the priority of a couple who are hoping to conceive is a healthy lifestyle, not only for the sake of maintaining good health for themselves and for their child, but also to set a good example of a healthy diet and a good lifestyle habits. So let us look at some of those lifestyle habits. I'll mention a few. The first is habits to do with general health. I will speak about some of the negative things that we need to get rid of first. So the first is to eliminate problem foods. You know that a lot of our health issues today come from the nutrients that the nutrients we lack, as well as some of the stuff that we put in our system. So items like sugar, processed foods, let's say grain products that have been excessively processed, junk food, and so on should be eliminated. And this is because they are linked to some of the points that reduce fertility. Then the other is, if possible, resolve any health issues that require chronic medication. Many people, when they have lifestyle illnesses, it turns out that they go to their doctor and they need to take medication for very long periods. And often some of these chronic medications have side effects that will affect other aspects of your health negatively. So if I could give an example, for example, one of the causes of ED, erectile dysfunction, can be the chronic use of high blood pressure medication. So that is why one of our first points is to resolve those health issues that require chronic medication. Of course, it may not always be possible, but by the use of our products and by the use of taking care of important lifestyle habits, we may be able to go off the medication with time. Then another point is to eliminate substance use and abuse. So if so, for example, can lead to low sex drive and low sperm count and even poor quality sperm, because remember, the sperm needs to be healthy in order to swim successfully to fertilize the egg. So eliminate substance use and abuse in order to eliminate this source of problems. Then the last of the negative points I wanted to bring up is to eliminate or minimize hormone disruptors. There are certain substances that occur in our environment that can disrupt our hormonal system. The hormonal system plays an important role in many aspects of our health, but especially so in our reproductive health and abilities. So for that reason, take care of keeping to a minimum environmental toxins. Some could be plastic residues, that maybe you are heating your food in plastic containers in the microwave. This can mean that the plastic residues can leach into the food. Pesticides, if your fruits and vegetables and other items are grown using pesticides, there might be residues there also. The earlier point to say eliminate junk food and other processed food because texture adjusters and so on. Some home care and grooming products can also have chemicals in them that disrupt our hormonal system. So apart from those negative points, things that we should get rid of, there are also some things that we can take on board, and this includes getting good quality proteins from our diet. So you can think about things like traditional chicken that is not raised with hormones, wild caught fish that does not have strange substances added to its food. We can also add things like beans, also as beans, different types of beans. You know, there are very many types. There can be green grams, the various types of beans, butter beans, black-eyed peas, and so on. All these come under the heading of pulses. They're a good source not only of proteins and various plant nutrients, but also they're a good source of fiber that helps with our digestive health and the health of our microbiome. Nuts also are a good source of proteins as well as of healthy fats. Then opt for nutritious, minimally processed carbohydrates. And here I say nutritious because there are nutrients that would usually be in our carbohydrates. But when our carbohydrates are processed, they are often removed. And all we get from the carbohydrates is the starch that is in it. So if you opt for minimally processed carbohydrates, you will get other nutrients in addition to the starch. So things like arrowroots, things like sweet potatoes, cassava, fruits, vegetables, or leafy vegetables, all these will be good items to use as our source of carbohydrates, carrots and things like that. Then also opt rather for healthy fats. So avoid those factory fats that we often mention because they cause inflammation and can interfere with our systems. And so rather use things like avocados as your food or avocado oil. I know some of these oils tend to be quite expensive, but as far as possible, try to include them in your diet. So avocados, olive, coconut, and ghee. Then, as always, incorporate movement and exercise in your daily routine. This helps to dissipate stress and stress hormones and can improve our mood and our sleep, all of which will play an important role in a healthy sexual life and a healthy reproductive system. As well, prioritize sleep so that you get 7 to 8 hours of sleep per night as often as possible. Then we turn our attention to our Neolife products. I want to speak about this and a number of headings. The first is products that we can recommend to support reproductive health in general. Here I will start with herbal feminine or masculine complex, one for the women and one for the men. These are herbal preparations that are formulated to balance our reproductive hormones and support our reproductive system. We also add their Provitality, or at least 3NN for cellular nutrition and to help to lower inflammation. As you know, 3NN ensures cellular health, which means that all the other good habits that we bring on board will benefit from the use of 3NN because the 3NN makes our cells better able to benefit from those good things that we do. I will add there vitamin E, which helps to improve the quality of the sperm, as well as the mucus layer on the cervix, which supports the successful fertilization of the egg. The fourth item would be chelated zinc, which is important in many aspects of male sexuality, such as sexual performance, as well as the male reproductive hormones. Then for men, we would recommend the use of multi, and for women, multimineral alfalfa. Apart from those, for general health, that is herbal feminine complex, herbal feminine and masculine complexes, Provitality, or at least 3NN, vitamin E, and chelated zinc, and multi or multimineral. There are some supplements that we can add if a person is already struggling with certain lifestyle issues. So, for example, if they have been overusing substances that are recreational drugs, we may want them to detox with Betagard at the very least, or if they won't do a full detox, at least to use Betagard to help their systems to get rid of any residues of the substances that were being used. If they have got sugar issues such as type 2 diabetes or pre-diabetes, we would want to add their botanical balance because, as I said at the beginning, try to resolve any health issues that you are in so that you don't need to use chronic medication, and also so that you can have all your health and strength to raise the child that you're hoping to have. Then if the person has got prostate issues or fibroids or other unwanted growths, then we recommend adding Cruciferous Plus, which is very useful for helping the body to get rid of unwanted growths. Then last of all, if the person has high blood pressure, we would add their omega-3 salmon oil and lipotropic adjunct, as well as garlic for blood and blood vessel health. So those are ones that can be added if the person that is seeking better reproductive health already has issues such as we have mentioned. The next is the Neolife products that we recommend to support a pregnancy, because some people come not to the issue would not be fertility, but it would be the tendency to miscarry. So to support full pregnancy to full term, we recommend vitamin B complex, which helps with energy production, the making of blood, and other many aspects of health. Vitamin B, very important. We will also recommend that they use ProVitality to help in the development of the baby's brain. Something like omega-3 plays a role there, and other organs. And also it helps with the mother's blood and blood circulation health. Because remember, when a woman is expecting, she is going to be increasing the volume of blood in her system, so we need to support that as well. That is why the next in the list will be multimineral alfalfa, which contains a broad spectrum of minerals that will help the mother's body to supply her needs and the needs of the growing baby. Then the last one I'll add there is aloe vera plus, which helps with calming the gut, and in some cases can help with dealing with nausea, especially if you have a tendency of having nausea in early pregnancy. Then to support the third group of products I wanted to mention are products that we can recommend to support fertility, maybe for one reason or another. I'll mention a few of them. The person may be dealing with reduced fertility. So I first wanted to make some points. The issue of low fertility or infertility, especially in many of our African cultures, can be a very heartbreaking thing. And so we as distributors need to be very careful about overpromising results, especially where we do not know the cause of the reduced fertility problem. So for that reason, we need to caution the person who has come to us that there are some issues with which we can help and some issues that we are not able to help. Maybe they can seek medical advice from their obstetrician or gynecologist. So, for example, if there's something like a structural abnormality in their reproductive system, our products may not be able to help with something like that. On the other hand, if the reduced fertility is due to hormonal imbalance or nutritional deficiency or lifestyle-related illnesses, then we can help them to resolve such issues, and God willing, they would be able to conceive. So we can also help by educating them about lifestyle choices which contribute to illness that reduce fertility. So they can be illnesses like PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. It can be endometriosis. It can be fibroids or sexually transmitted illnesses. So we can give better education about that. So for example, the fact that if there is a sexually transmitted illness, both the man and the woman should receive treatment. Otherwise, there can be a cyclic reinfection. Problems with sugar metabolism has many side effects and can bring about issues like illnesses during pregnancy that can lead to the termination of a pregnancy. So being careful about the diet is important. Then some of the issues that contribute to reduce fertility and what we can recommend for them. So one of them is endometriosis, which in the Q&A we from time to time mention. And it's the overgrowth of cells similar to the cells of the uterus. And these may overgrow in different parts of the body apart from the uterus and can lead to a lot of inflammation and heavy bleeding. It can run in families, or it is often linked also to an autoimmune problems. And remember, whenever we speak about autoimmune issues, we should keep in mind that the way to deal with autoimmune issues is to support the gut so that the immune system calms down. A lot of autoimmune issues are related to problems in our digestive tract. Okay, so if someone comes to us with this, there are a number of products we can recommend for endometriosis. Flavonoid complex can help with healing the damaged tissue. Chelated zinc can also help with healing the affected tissues. Multimineral alfalfa can help with replenishing minerals if the endometriosis is also causing heavy bleeding. Omega-3 salmon oil can help in reducing inflammation. And also we eliminate problem foods which can exacerbate autoimmune illnesses. And we are here thinking about things like sugar, coffee. For some people, it may be wheat, and for some people, it may be dairy, can make the symptoms worse. If you're a sufferer of endometriosis, it's good to keep an eye to see if anything you do in your lifestyle makes the symptoms worse. Another common cause of reduced fertility, although it does not cause infertility, it may just reduce fertility depending on whether it is placed in it. The fibroid is large and is in a place that interferes with fertilization. So remember, fibroids are not non-cancerous growths that occur on the walls of the uterus, and they can affect the quality of life depending on their location. So if they're near the rectum, they can interfere with the passing of stools and retention of being able to retain stools or being able to retain bladder control. Then also fibroids may be linked to herpes viruses or hormone imbalances or plastic residues in our food or drinks. So women of African race, just so you know, tend to have a higher susceptibility to fibroids, and probably that is why it's one of the most common questions we receive in our questions from distributors and customers alike. And although fibroids are often harmless, they may, if they are very large, there can be problems, and you may need to discuss with your gynecologist whether surgical intervention is needed. They can also cause heavy menstrual flow that can lead to getting anemic, which means you will need to also see your doctor just to make sure that it's not a chronic issue. And then, of course, you need to use multimineral alfalfa and vitamin B to support replenishing your blood if you're bleeding heavily due to fibroids. The supplements that we recommend for fibroids will be Beta-Guard to assist in detoxing. We recommend Cruciferous Plus, which helps to work against unwanted growths, Multimineral Alfalfa to replenish blood lost, and also Herbal Feminine Complex to restore hormonal balance. And I recommend those 4 because we may not know exactly which aspect we need to deal with. If, for example, the person is not dealing with excessive bleeding, they may be able to get all the nutrients they require from their diet. On the other hand, if not, then you need to keep the multimineral alfalfa. Then from fibroids, we go to PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, which are unwanted growths that occur on the ovaries. And they're usually fluid-filled swellings that form on the ovaries and can cause loss of periods or irregular painful periods in some cases. It is often linked to diabetes or pre-diabetes and can also be hereditary. So it leads to hormonal imbalances due to overproduction of testosterone, which can cause an unwanted hair growing on the chin or on the just below the nose in women. This is the effect of testosterone. So PCOS can really interfere with a woman's reproductive hormone balance. It can also lead to gestational diabetes, which is a kind of diabetes that starts when a woman is pregnant and can cause problems in the pregnancy. So PCOS is one of those things that is quite serious. And if you have PCOS, you should behave as if you have diabetes, because the two run hand in hand. What we recommend there in the lifestyle side is eliminate sugar and the usual suspects. Then eliminate factory fats, and also opt for good proteins. And if you are a smoker, please stop smoking, because it's one of the things that is linked to this issue. We can use herbal feminine complex to balance the hormones, botanical balance to regulate blood sugar, and Provitality, which contains threonine for cellular health, as well as omega-3 to fight inflammation. So the points I've mentioned thus far are on the women's side. Now let us look at some of the issues on the men's side. So the first one here is erectile dysfunction, which sometimes is called ED or impotence, and is the inability to have or maintain penile erection, and can be due to stress, obesity, or that is excessive body weight, and hormone imbalance. Some medication, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, such as high blood pressure medication, substance that are abused, age, and other illnesses can contribute to erectile dysfunction. So if any of these are so in the case of a person who comes to you, you can advise them that we have ways to help them resolve high blood pressure or high blood sugar. And that way they will be able to gradually go off the chronic medication that is causing the erectile dysfunction. So the other products, apart from those to deal with the issues that might be contributing to ED, we'll recommend masculine herbal complex to stabilize the man's hormones. We recommend chelated zinc, as well as omega-3 salmon oil. If their budget allows, they can go for Provitality, which contains omega-3 salmon oil. And this will improve the health of the blood as well as the blood vessels. Remember that penile erection is very reliant on good blood pressure, normal, healthy blood pressure. Okay, we can also recommend aloe vera plus to help in managing stress, but the best is to resolve the stressors so that you eliminate the source of stress from your life. Of course, it's not always possible, but where possible, then we can recommend that. The next issue for men will be prostate issues, which are varied. It can be that the prostate is inflamed, or it can be enlarged. And here we also recommend that you speak to your doctor so that they also contribute to information about what is going on, because the enlarged prostate can lead to irritation of the bladder and contribute to either erectile dysfunction or pain during intercourse. So for prostate issues, we recommend a healthy diet and active lifestyle. And as men grow older, bad lifestyle choices may lower testosterone levels, which upsets the hormone balance of the men. So do try to maintain a healthy lifestyle right through your youth and your middle ages and even elder years. For prostate health, we recommend Cruciferous Plus, which helps to slow down and reverse most of the prostate issues. We also recommend Herbal Masculine Complex to help balance the hormones and support the prostate in its function. We also recommend chelated zinc for support to the male reproductive system. Then the third point on male reproductive issues will be problems to do with the sperms. So sperms can have issues such as the amount of sperms can be low in the semen. It can also be that the sperms are there, but they're not healthy and able to move efficiently. And also they may be malformed so that they do not perform their function as well as possible. So remember, the sperm is a cell, and so we need to take care of cellular health. These sperm issues are often linked to frequent exposure to hormone disruptors, For example, avoid soy products for men. We also recommend that you avoid meat which has been grown with hormones. A lot of chicken, for example, which are produced on a large scale, may be raised with hormones. So do try to find out or opt to deal with farmers who raise their chicken without these substances. Eliminate tobacco, cannabis, alcohol, etc., as they may damage the gamete, that is the sperm, and can increase the possibility of miscarriage and, of course, affect the health of the growing baby. Keep the testicles cool. Okay, that is in the case of the woman, sorry. Keep the testicles cool. You should avoid being excessively warm around the thighs if you're a man. For example, avoid placing your laptop on your lap. I know it's a laptop, but avoid placing it on your lap, because as the laptop gets hot, as you use it, it may make that area excessively warm, which is the sperm are supposed to be at a lower temperature than the rest of the body. Tight, warm clothes can also contribute to that, and prolonged sitting, as well as being obese, especially if there's a large belly involved, can contribute to making the testicles excessively warm and therefore affect the health of the sperm. So then adhere to the points of reproductive health that we have already mentioned there. And for healthy sperm, we can recommend some products. We recommend a good source of proteins, which you can supplement with Neolife Shake. You can also add the chelated zinc and Pro-Vitality for sperm health. To ensure that you have enough testosterone, it is important that men maintain their muscles, and this means doing exercises that are weight bearing. So do lift some weights as part of your exercise program. This is very important for the health of men. So I see that my time has run out. I want to thank you very much for having spent the time. As usual, I'm hopeful that you have found this session useful for yourself and for those who come to you for assistance in this area. I hope that as we end the month, not quite end, but getting close to the end of the month of April, you are finding that your goals are within sight. And so I encourage you to do your best to ensure that you get those goals. And that is because whenever we reach our goals, we are making sure that someone somewhere is having a better health or a better financial situation. So thank you very much. Let me hand you over to Pascal, who is right here beside me.